शिक्षा संवाद ने भारत की सार्वजनिक शिक्षा प्रणाली में सुधार के लिए एक राष्ट्रीय अभियान की शुरुआत की। मुंबई। इस शुक्रवार मुंबई में शिबुलाल फैमिली फिलेंथ्रोपी इनिशिएटिव द्वारा आयोजित शिक्षा संवाद में शिक्षागृह के महत्व को उजागर किया। यह एक जन आंदोलन है जो भारत के सार्वजनिक स्कूलों में शिक्षा की गुणवत्ता को बेहतर बनाने के लिए समर्पित है। इस शिक्षा समानता पर एक सामूहिक चर्चा ने समाजसेवी संगठन, फिलेंथ्रोपिस्ट, उद्योग, शिक्षा नेताओं और सामुदायिक अधिवक्ताओं को एकत्रित किया, जिन्होंने भारत के सार्वजनिक शिक्षा प्रणाली में सुधार के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक संवाद को शुरुआत की, जो देश भर में 140 मिलियन छात्रों के लिए शिक्षा प्रणाली को बेहतर बनाएगा। शिक्षागृह को एक्सिस बैंक, एल&टी टेक्नोलॉजी सर्विसेज, केयरिंग फ्रेंड्स, रोटरी क्लब ऑफ क्वीन के नेकलेस मुंबई और अमेजन वेब सर्विसेज का समर्थन प्राप्त है। शिक्षागृह केवल एक आंदोलन नहीं है, ये भारत के सार्वजनिक शिक्षा में प्रणालीगत परिवर्तन का एक नीति है। हम एक महत्वपूर्ण मोड़ पर हैं, जहां विभिन्न हितधारकों की सामूहिक इच्छा सरकार, समाज, बाजार और संचार क्षेत्रों में 14 करोड़ बच्चों के भविष्य को नए सिरे से परिभाषित कर सकती है। यह आंदोलन आधारित ज्ञान और सिद्ध समाधानों के आधार पर समस्या समाधान पर ध्यान केंद्रित करेगा, ताकि निरंतर स्कूल सुधार की दिशा में कदम बढ़ाए जा सकें। अंततः यह आंदोलन व्यक्तिगत और सामुदायिक स्वायत्तता को पुनर्स्थापित करने पर ध्यान केंद्रित करेगा, ताकि बाधाओं को समाप्त कर एक ऐसा शिक्षा तंत्र तैयार किया जा सके जो हर बच्चे को तेजी से बदलते विश्व में सफल होने के लिए आवश्यक उपकरण प्रदान करे। एस.टी. शिबुलाल, पूर्व CEO और इन्फोसिस के सह संस्थापक तथा शिबुलाल फैमिली फिलेंथ्रोपी इनिशिएटिव के स्थायी ट्रस्टी। 2030 तक भारत के सभी 10 लाख सार्वजनिक स्कूलों में सुधार करने के लक्ष्य के साथ शिक्षागृह सभी हितधारकों, सरकारी निकायों, शिक्षकों, समाजसेवी संगठन, उद्योग, मीडिया और समुदायों को एक शक्तिशाली गठबंधन में एकजुट करता है। ये देश भर में सार्वजनिक स्कूलों के समक्ष मौजूद पुरानी चुनौतियों का समाधान करता है। इसका उद्देश्य एक ऐसा पारिस्थितिकी तंत्र बनाना है जहां हर बच्चा, चाहे उसकी पृष्ठभूमि, लिंग या क्षमताएं कैसी भी हों, गुणवत्ता वाली शिक्षा प्राप्त कर सके और अपने संभावनाओं को पूरा कर सके। खुशबू अवस्थी, सह संस्थापक और कुशिक्षालोकम, जो शिक्षागृह की सह निर्माता हैं। शिक्षा संवाद में दर्शकों ने सार्वजनिक शिक्षा के पुनर्गठन पर गतिशील चर्चाओं में भाग लिया। एस.टी. शिबुलाल और अपूर्वा पुरोहित, आजोल की सह संस्थापक और लिमिटमाइंट्री की इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर के बीच एक संवाद ने प्रणालीगत परिवर्तन के लिए आगे का रास्ता रेखांकित किया।
I heard in the last 45 minutes was truly very humbling. The kind of work that everyone here is doing for the society, for the country is, I think we have a long way to go, and every individual has to contribute in some way. Coming to L&T Technology Services, this is our first year of association Shikshagram, and when this was introduced to us and our leadership looked at what Shikshagra does. I really take pride in saying that it was probably not even a week for us to decide that we would like to be part of this movement. And someone from the company said this was one of the fastest. Decided to was convinced with our vision, our principles, and go ahead with partnering. We believe that
those were revived by people from Shiksharth, and I felt a sense of possibility and accomplishment, because what I found was that the people who are implementing this on the ground are equally committed, honest and dedicated to this purpose. So if people, those of you are still contemplating to join this moment, I definitely encourage you to join this moment. And the road is not that easy, but I'm sure I will get there and definitely leave a trail. Thank you.
I was not at all aware of it कि so I know about only caring friends. मेरे अंकल मेरे साथ में हैं। जैसा अंकल दोस्तों, संतोष को, खुशबू को और मंत्रा फॉर चेंज एंड शिक्षा गृह, ये सब केयरिंग फ्रेंड की वजह से हम पहुंच पाए हैं। केयरिंग फ्रेंड डोनर और डोनी के बीच में एक ब्रिज का काम करता है, और उसके जो मैग्नेटिक फोर्स है वो हमारे अंकल, वो ही ढूंढ के लाते हैं और हम डोनर से अप्रोच करते हैं, और ये जितनी भी संस्थाएं जो इतना बेहतरीन काम कर रही है, इनके काम को थोड़ा सा और पुश कैसे हो सकता है वो हम प्रयास करते हैं। सो उसी एक प्रयास की कड़ी में हमें संतोष जी से और खुशबू जी से मिलने का सौभाग्य मिला है। थैंक यू सो मच।
When I talk about systemic change, The first thing which comes to my mind is leadership. You need leaders who can actually imagine, you need leaders who can actually create transformation, who are change agents, who are willing to commit to that change. So the first thing I think about is the need for leadership, building capacity and leadership. So that is what Shiksha Logam and Shiksha Graha is all about. And then you talk about leaders, again, when you talk about leadership, it is not only about school leadership, it is about leadership at every level. Whether it is civil society, whether it is government, whether it is local leadership, whether it is community leadership, whether they are parents, you need leadership. Next thing is you need local solutions. And thirdly, you need collective action, what we call collective action, because these are not problems which can be solved by one set of people, one department, one government, one civil society organization, or one school. So these are all things which needs collective action. You need people to come together, you need people to work together, learn from each other, create a sense of common purpose. Now, the next level of this is to create a movement. It becomes a people's movement, because if you want to create sustainable scale, if you want to create change across the nation, if you want to create change across a million schools, you need the society to be involved. In the morning, I met somebody here, actually he's sitting right here. His solution to his school, where there are hundreds of children who are studying, the children are coming from far away and they are not coming back. So his solution was at the 9th and 10th grade, he simply stayed in the school and the children stayed with him. And he told me that there are a number of children in medical school and in engineering today from that village. That is one solution. But the moment he did this, he actually told a very interesting thing. He said that the village started providing material for food. So the people got involved, the village got involved in making sure that the children are getting educated. That is movement. Or for example, in Bihar, we have 65,000 women who pledged that they will keep girls in school until 12th grade. That is movement. So when we talk about creating change at this kind of scale and transforming the education system of a million schools, you really need involvement from all parts of the society, and that is what Shiksha Graha is all about.
So very, very beautifully articulated, and I think as behoves a great leader, not only articulated the vision but also the steps to achieving those visions. So, we've talked about collective action, we've talked about the complexity of the country, we've talked about leadership that is required. The question that occurs to me that despite understanding all this, and I think there are senior people involved, the foundation, Shibulal Foundation has been working for 25 years, what are the challenges and why is the pace of change so slow?
I think number one, it's a very complex environment. We have to accept that it's a very complex environment. The scale is huge, right? The scale is literally huge. You are talking about a million schools. There is no other country in the world where this kind of scale exists. And then there are occasions when tunnel vision prevails, right? There is one single vision, one single solution, one single solution which fits everybody. That doesn't work. So scale is one very, very big challenge. The diversity is a very big challenge, right? Because we are so diverse in various ways, right? We are so diverse culturally, linguistically, geographically. That is another major challenge. Alignment of purpose, I think, is another big challenge. So all of us operate in even if I look at hundreds of organizations which operate in education, it is like blind man seeing the elephant, right? We all experience that ecosystem differently. We all create our own mental models. We all create our own solutions. That is why collective action becomes important. It is not about creating one single purpose, at least creating 20 or 30 purposes to which we can align and work together, learn from each other, create the strength of 5 fingers together rather than one finger at a time. So that is why collective action becomes so important. So these are some of the challenges which happens in the ecosystem.
Which is why I think Shiksha Grah being a movement, because unless there is collective action at every level, I don't think change will happen, however good leaders we get, however good the desire from each one of us is. And just to, when Shibu was talking about it, I reflect on the changes that, at the grassroots level, each one of us in our own way is trying to make. And it's so difficult because it's like building brick by brick. So, we work with the farmer communities of Maharashtra and try to create employment there, because otherwise there's migration and there's poverty, etc. So there's a Nandurbar is a tribal zone, Naxalite zone, very, very impoverished, and the tribals there the children were so malnourished that nobody knew what to do there. So the health workers worked with them the tribals to make these Mahua Laddus. In fact, all of you have been given the Mahua Laddu in the hamper that Shiksha Grah has given you. So these Mahua Laddus are very rich in iron, calcium, etc. And the Mahua tree grows there. That's the only tree that grows there. So they were taught to make Mahua Laddus, and municipal schools, etc. started giving those Laddus there. But you can't live a life on Laddu, right? So when Azol, our company, started working with them, we now buy the Laddu to give it to the urban consumer who requires calcium, iron, popping pills all the time, rather than that have this Laddu that is grown there and children are eating. And finally there is some money that is going there and migration has stopped. But these are just health workers will make the Laddus. We will provide employment so that migration stops and therefore other issues get sorted out. But that's 1/100th of the thing that has got solved. So I always worry that each one of us will do something, but it is me building one brick, someone else building one brick. When will this entire society get together and say, it is our duty to what we were given so much, and the dreams that we were discussing at our table, what we started off with to what we have today. It's a world of difference. Why are we not realizing that each one of us has to, whether in time or in resources or in knowledge, give back? I think that value system change has to be driven, Shibu. How will that happen? Please tell us.
I think, first of all, I am a very optimistic person. I really believe, look at this road. Okay, good example. I think Santosh is having a heart attack because he is trying to find chairs for everybody to sit. It is a good problem to have, right? So this is a good example of what is happening, right? So I am very optimistic, I am very hopeful. I think the culture is changing. I think the sense of responsibility is coming in. And when we look at our own experience, for example, in Punjab, the collective which we ran, or other collectives which we are running, I think there is also this sense of understanding that we need to work together, right? To create serious impact. So I think there is a shift which is happening all across us, within this room, outside this room, and also this sense of sense towards collective action. I think these are steps. These are very optimistic steps. And if you can actually, as we just talked about, if you can actually get the different actors involved, that means if you can get all the actors involved in this movement, that is when the transformation change will happen. So which means it is government, it is civil society, it is the school leadership, it is the parental leadership, it is the village. Once you can get all them involved, then it will become a movement. And I think I'm very impressed with what they did in Bihar. This 66,000 people, women coming forward and taking a pledge that they will keep children in school is more powerful than anything else which we can do. We can talk about girls in school until eternity. But these 66,000 women who came forward and took that pledge, even if 50% of them actually keep it to their heart, that is powerful, right? So I think that's how you build.
Absolutely, I think as they say, collective action starts one person at a time. Whether we are taking a vow, whether we are making the change, whether we are encouraging people to make the change. You said you are an optimistic person. I think all of us need those rays of hope, Shibu. So what is the piece of advice and piece of hope and the beacon that you will show all of us?
So I will start with the secret. Actually, all the work is done by my wife, who is sitting there quietly. I always sit here and get the credit. I always say this. I think actually, so I will reflect on her words. I think, philanthropy is not about money alone, right? It's all about giving, and it can be about time, it can be about money, it can be about caring, it can be about thought, it can be about action. So you have you have a wide variety of things which you can do to give back and create hope. You don't need to be wealthy to be philanthropic. You don't need to be educated to be philanthropic. I have seen many people who are neither of those, being very kind and compassionate. And she always says that start early. There is no reason for you to wait. Giving time can be at the age of 15. It need not be at the age of 55. Right. So I think the advice is to make sure that you have this sense of responsibility with you. You don't need to be always focused on funding. There are many other ways of doing it. You should start early. I think that is important. It is always important to create passion and purpose, because that is what will drive human beings. So you need to have a purpose. You need to have a passion. It is always good to work in the area of passion than anything else. So education is your passion. This is the room you should be in. If something else is your passion, there are many other rooms where you can be. So I think it's very important to start early. It is very important to be passionate. It is very important to give back in various ways.
Correct. And I think again repeating that the movement will get created through collective action, and collective action will only happen when each of us realize, as John Donne, the poet, said, no man is an island entire of itself. He is a piece of the main, a part of the whole. And any man's death diminishes me. Any man's death diminishes me, for I am involved in mankind. Therefore, never send to know for whom the bells toll. The bells toll for thee. With that, thank you so much, Shibu, and thank you so much for